Welcome everyone. I'm Melissa Nance and I would like to share with you differentiating problem-based and project-based learning. First of all, we must consider what is active learning. Simply stated, active learning requires action from our students. It means students doing something, including discovering, creating, processing, or analyzing information, not just sitting in a classroom and listening to a lecture or reading a passage or a PowerPoint. It involves something that's actionable, something that they can produce, they can get their hands on. When looking at our image there on the screen, you'll notice we're comparing passive learning to active learning. Active learning is our goal. That's the green portion you see at the bottom of the pyramid. Students retain 70% of what they say and write through learning activities and 90% of what they do from learning activities. So we want to make sure that our goal is to incorporate as much active learning in our lessons as we possibly can. Active learning is seen in student-centered classrooms. Student-centered classrooms tend to have more engagement and motivation than the typical traditional classrooms. Student-centered classrooms allow students to get up and move around as they explore real-world projects or problems, and these explorations present rigorous experiences for students at all levels. They allow for student collaboration and for the teacher to be a facilitator of the learning, which offers greater opportunities of growth for all learners. So again, our goal should be for greater retention, to know that 70% of what they say and write is retained, but more importantly, 90% of what they do is retained. All right, we've just discovered that active learning equals better learning. Let's now consider, what are PBLs? PBLs are two instructional models that are appropriate for a 21st century learning environment and provide exciting opportunities for students to engage in authentic, real-world tasks as opposed to the traditional classroom setting involving lecture, notes, and questions. So we're talking again about promoting active learning. Both of these instructional models that we're going to discuss are known by the initials PBL, which can further complicate understanding of the two models. But they are problem-based learning and project-based learning. What is problem-based learning? According to Dr. Tina Nixon, problem-based learning is a student-centered approach where the teacher presents learners with a problem to determine the content and necessary skills to solve it. This originally was developed by Howard Barrows for use in medical schools so that they could learn from specific problems. The goals for problem-based learning are to help students construct flexible knowledge, develop problem-solving and self-directed learning skills, and to become effective collaborators and motivated learners. Problem-based learning, again, involves active learning. What is project-based learning? According to Dr. Tina Nixon, project-based learning is an instructional model that teaches curriculum concepts through the development of a project. Typically, project-based learning begins with an end product or artifact in mind. Project-based learning relies on a production-type model in which users follow these steps. Define the purpose for the end product, identify the audience, create a plan for product management, research the topic, design the product, produce the product, present the product, and then reflect on and evaluate the process. Project-based learning, again, focuses on active learning. All right, we mentioned earlier problem-based and project-based learning are two effective instructional models for use in 21st century learning environments. While these two approaches share many similarities, they also have distinct differences. Let's take a look first at the similarities. Here are a few similarities between problem-based learning and project-based learning. Both PBLs, the teacher is the facilitator of the learning. Both PBLs provide active learning for students. Both PBLs involve collaboration between students. Both PBLs build 21st century success skills. Both PBLs require higher order thinking skills. Both PBLs emphasize student independence and inquiry. Both PBLs provide authentic experiences for all learners. And both PBLs allow students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding in unique ways. These are only a few of the similarities between both of the PBLs. Let's take a look now at the differences between problem-based learning and project-based learning. Differences here. Problem-based, used in core classes such as math or science. Project-based, often multi-subject and used in any curriculum. Problem-based tend to be shorter, such as 1 to 5 class periods. Project-based tend to be lengthy, such as a unit of study, month, quarter, or semester. Problem-based, students arrive at same solutions to problem using different methods or strategies, while project-based, students derive unique solutions to an open-ended project by creating an artifact or an end product. Problem-based, teacher defines the application and knowledge of skills, while project-based, teacher sets the parameters for the project, but the student determines the complexity of their solution in a variety of ways. And for problem-based, it involves real-world application, and project-based then uses case studies or fictitious scenarios. It is important to understand that there is a change in the role of the teacher when dealing with problem-based and project-based learning. The teacher becomes the facilitator and must create a learning space in which the students can learn from each other. In other words, stepping back and letting them take charge of their learning. Through collaborative learning, students develop the key 21st century skills known as the 4 C's. These skills are communication, critical thinking, creativity, and of course, collaboration. Collaborative learning allows students to go much further than what you might see in the traditional classroom. In order to clarify or solidify your understanding of problem-based versus project-based learning, I would like to share with you an example of each. The first example is a problem-based learning activity called Taco Cart by Dan Meyer. Using a video of a satellite map of the desert, students work through Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 of the Taco Cart task, using probes and images provided to find the solution to the Pythagorean theorem problem. So we're talking about content being math, specifically geometry. Time frame on this would be anywhere from 2 to 4 class periods. Again, students are working using different strategies, different methods, but still arriving at the same solution to that specific Pythagorean theorem problem. The next example, Designing a Winner by Janet Pinto. This project allows students to apply the geometric principles of triangles, volume, and coordinates to the mapping and design of a multi-purpose arena in a limited area. The arena must serve as a venue that can be easily converted for use by two sports, plus serve as a concert venue if needed. Students will form design teams to create a map showing how the arena can be converted for the two sports, and the map will be accompanied by a hand-built model or a digital design using Google SketchUp or other tool. In the final presentations, the map and design ideas will be presented to the local city council. So notice in this project-based learning activity, they're using web-based tools. They are designing a final presentation with a map and the design ideas that will be presented to the local city council. So they are processing and analyzing and creating something as opposed to what you saw on the taco cart, where it's just a problem-based solution, versus really digging into this geometry principles through triangles, volume, and coordinates. In conclusion, active learning offers greater opportunities of growth for all learners. We want all of our students to be successful. We want them to be engaged. We want them to be motivated. Active learning through models such as problem-based learning or project-based learning is the key to that success. Active learning, in other words, equals better learning. Thank you.